Hi there. Today I am going to show you how to conduct a multiple regression analysis in Excel. Whenever you're conducting regression, there is really no correct collection of X variables to use in your model. So today we're going to be looking at some data that has GPA, has GMAT scores, degree program, either PhD or master's, has major codes, has a lot of different things in it. But it's up to us as researchers to select which X variables we'd actually like to use in this model. And then also, if we're really interested, we may have different Y variables that we may also be interested in too. So for this exercise, if you don't already have the data analysis Toolpak installed, you'll need to have that. And what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at how our degree, whether you're looking to be in a PhD or a master's program, and how your GMAT score impacts your GPA. And we'll do this with the data analysis Toolpak. So in the data analysis Toolpak, we will select regression, and you would then click OK. I have already selected the data for GPA here, and that's going to be everything in this GPA column. So we do have to select only the variables and only the observations that are going to be included in this model, because if you had selected just the column, it's going to include blanks that are at the end of your data set. So you'll actually want to select your data in the regression case. So with our X data, we have already selected that, and that's going to be the degree code and our GMAT. And for this, it's going to go from the label of 1 all the way to the very end of our data set. Of course, this should match the number of observations that we have in our Y range as well. So we did select labels because we do have the degree code, GMAT, and GPA labels all selected in our data. And finally, we did select the confidence interval here. That way we could see that if we're really interested in looking at the confidence interval. So from here, you would click OK. And I have actually conducted the regression results. This is the same thing, although I have some interpretation here for you. That way you'll have a little bit better understanding of what some of these things mean and kind of the importance of what we're looking at here today. So first of all, I want to bring your attention to the regression statistics. And the important thing here is we want to look at this R-squared value. And if you'll recall from my previous video, an R-squared measures how well the X variables predicts your Y variable. So the R-squared value ranges from 0 to 1. And so with 1 being the highest predictability of X to Y. Now, R-squared is really dependent on kind of the context that you're researching. So it really depends on what type of field you're looking at. So finance, you may have really high R-squared. Other disciplines like in marketing, you may have lower R-squared. So R-squared is really dependent on the field and other research. So this looks like it would be a fine R-squared for us. That means that our X variables are explaining about 11.5% of our Y variable, or the variation in our Y variable. And so from here, what I want you to notice is that our regression is significant because we do look at this F statistic and the p-value associated with the F statistic. So this is significant at p less than 0.05. And what that means is, whenever we're looking at, is that this model is not easily explained by chance alone. The next thing I want to draw your attention to is our two x variables. And our two x variables, these are our coefficients here. So we have a very small number for GMAT. We have a little bit larger number for the degree code. And how I want you to interpret this is, so whenever we're looking at degree code, this is the interpretation. And the interpretation is, this is the difference in GPA comparing PhD to master's students whenever we hold our GMAT score fixed. So we can't look at both GMAT and degree code at the same time. We have to hold one of the two fixed. So whenever we're looking at degree code, our GMAT score could be held at 480, 560, whatever it is, but whenever we're looking at degree code, we would hold our GMAT score fixed. That way we can interpret this degree code and its impact on GPA. Now, with GMAT, what this means is this is actually the difference in GPA associated with a 1 unit increase or a 1 unit difference in GMAT scores holding our degree program fixed. So if we held our degree program fixed at 0 for PhD students, and we increased the GMAT score from 480 to 481, that is our interpretation that we are going to have a 0.001 increase in our GPA. So that is how you would interpret that. And the last thing that I want to draw your attention to here is the p-values. So in our regression model, we have the p-values and they are all less than 0.05. So that means that these x variables included in our model and their impact on the y variable are not easily explained by chance alone. Now, if they were greater than 0.05, they would be explainable by chance alone. So that is how we interpret our p-values. That's going to be it for today's lesson. If you have any question on multiple regression, you may email me at kt.manus@ttu.edu. Thank you.